Hey up everyone! So today's movie I'm discussing on the channel is the new dark comedy from Roach called The Roses, which is essentially a remake of the 1989 film War of the Roses by Danny DeVito. Just for the record, I'm holding my hands up, I haven't seen the Danny DeVito film. I'll be honest, I hadn't even heard of it until just a few days ago. And I wanted to watch that film before I sat down to watch The Roses to see how the films would compare, but I just haven't had the time. But I'm actually kind of glad I didn't get a chance to watch that film because it just meant I can go into The Roses as a blank slate. There's actually an advantage to not having seen the original, which is you have no bias. So my review of The Roses is going to be objective. I get to judge it simply as a standalone film, which I should, but I'm unqualified to tell you whether this film is better or worse or on par with the 1989 film. But I can tell you, I had a bloody good time watching The Roses. This film is a viciously fun watch, but it's also surprisingly deep in its depiction of a loving couple's marriage turning toxic. The couple in question are Ivy and Theo Rose. They are played by British acting royalty Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch. Long story short, he's an architect, she's a chef. They meet, have refrigerator sex, then they get married, then they relocate to California, have a couple kids, and Theo designs and builds them their dream house whilst Ivy finances it. As the years zip by, one of their careers flourishes whilst the other one goes up in flames, which means they're forced to swap their roles as the breadwinner and the primary caregiver for the kids. At first, they try to support each other in their new roles, but eventually resentment starts to build. Little things turn into big things, and eventually it gets ugly, and they decide to split. And no, that's not a spoiler, okay? The whole plot of this film is about the two of them splitting up. The only problem is they both want to keep the house, and with neither of these stubborn arseholes willing to back down, what follows is a series of escalatingly spiteful and hilarious antics. Who comes out on top? Well, no spoilers. Like I said, guys, I had a blast watching The Roses, and it came as no surprise, really, because the script for this film was written by Tony McNamara, who has written some of my most cherished films of recent times with Poor Things and The Favourite. The man writes with such acerbic wit. I love a perfectly placed C-bomb, and usually in a Tony McNamara script, there's at least one, and there's one in this film, which Olivia Colman delivers, and it really tickled me. But what's always wonderful about Tony McNamara's writing is how dimensional he writes his characters. On the surface, The Roses looks like a silly rom-com with a husband and wife going through a bitter, over-the-top separation, and it is that. Like, the last 30 minutes of this film dials the absurdity up to an 11, but McNamara does an impeccable job of building up to that. This film is a pressure cooker of simmering black comedy, which eventually boils over into this competition of discontentment and ego. Colman and Cumberbatch are dynamite together as a couple of selfish pricks trying to one-up each other in order to hold on to what they valued the most. You would think it would be the kids, but what's hilarious about this film is, like, the kids don't even get mentioned in the custody hearing. All they care about is who gets to keep their state-of-the-art house. Sidebar, Allison Janney is in this film for like one scene. She plays this cutthroat lawyer. But yeah, talk about a scene stealer. She came in, did a one scene, got a paycheck, but my god, she leaves an impact on you. She was so flippin' funny. There are no small roles, people. Allison Janney is proof of that. So yeah, this film is a lot of fun, and it's very well paced as well. This film is like an hour and 45 minutes, but not once did it ever feel like it was dragging. It was like the perfect length, didn't overstay its welcome. Like I said, Colman and Cumberbatch are a comedy match made in heaven or hell, depending on which way you look at it. They're both such top quality actors that they end up bringing so much more dramatic heft to these roles than you would expect from, you know, a light-hearted domestic comedy film, and the film is all the better for it. Cumberbatch, I don't think, has ever been funnier. Whether he's rambling out loud to himself on a morning jog or watching a viral clip of himself that's been auto-tuned to filth, he's just delightful. But yeah, with Olivia Colman, she just has this amazing ability to wear contradicting emotions on her face all at once. Like, in the same scene, she'll, you know, have you laughing, but she'll also punch you in the heart at the same time. They're both brilliant in this, but that's partly due to how good Tony McNamara's script is. There's a lot for them to work with. Not only is it blisteringly funny, but the characters are written with so many true-to-life insecurities and shortcomings, such as feeling like a failure, or our inability to say sorry to those that we're closest to, or worried that you're missing out on your kid's childhood, or sacrificing your dreams so that your partner can have a shot at theirs. But yeah, it really struck a personal chord with me, this film. Same with Glenn, actually. Like, after we left the cinema, we had a deep and meaningful discussion about the film, and we don't always do that with every film we see. Like, but this one, there was a lot to discuss, and I guess we both just didn't expect that from this type of movie. We went into it for a good time, but came out of it starting a conversation, which we didn't expect. And yeah, while this is the Cumberbatch and Colman show, all the supporting players in this were wonderful. Kate McKinnon was certainly a standout with her perfectly timed, inappropriate comments about her wanting to jump on Cumberbatch's Cumber. But Andy Samberg's also really good in this. Same with Gatwa and Sunita Manny. Like, this was a solid ensemble. Also, the production design of the Roses house, that they build is amazing. They pay a lot of attention to the details in this house, and you understand why they want to fight over who gets to keep it. And I did like that everything comes back around in this film, whether it's the raspberries or the dagger in the table, or Julia Child's dodgy kitchen stove. And it's just another instance of how this film pays close attention to the details, which I really liked. Do I have any negatives? Not really, but I will say I don't think Jay Roach's direction added all that much. Like, it's perfectly competent, but at no point did I feel like the direction was elevating what was on the page. Like, it's not one of those films where you notice how good the direction is. Do I think it has any Oscars chances? As much as I love this film, I don't really see it as an Oscars movie, which is a shame. I'd love to see Tony McNamara get a nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay, or like a Best Actor or Best Actress nomination for Cumberbatch or Colman, but it's not gonna happen. Why? Because the film's too fluffy. It's not serious enough for the Academy. Which is a shame, because I do think this is a deceptively deep rom-com. Like, there's a lot in here that I think will resonate with audiences. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it got any Oscar nominations, but I do think it could be a contender at the Golden Globes. Like, I could see Cumberbatch and Colman getting nominations in the musical/comedy acting categories. And by that logic, I can also see it getting into the Best Picture musical/comedy category at the Golden Globes as well. But what do you guys think of the Roses award season chances? What do you have to say? Let your voice be heard in that comment section down below. All right then, shall we ask them 3 questions? Firstly, would I watch it again? 100%. She'll be on the wall at some point. Question 2, do I recommend it for you guys? Oh my god, yes. Like, this is such an easy recommendation and for everyone. It's one of those movies where you can just sit back, relax, enjoy some brilliant acting and not think too hard about it. And it genuinely is one of those rare films where you can watch it with your mates, you can watch it with your partner, and you can watch it with your parents, okay? It's the definition of a crowd pleaser. Go see it at the cinema, you'll have a great time. And third question, what score to give out of 10? I thought The Roses was gonna be good, given the talent that's both in front of the camera and behind it, but I didn't expect it would be this good, okay? I really did love this film. So I'm gonna give The Roses a score of 8.5 out of 10. But as always, guys, it is just one bloke's opinion. I would love to hear your thoughts on The Roses. Have you seen it? What do you make of it? How does it compare to the 1989 War of the Roses film? Who gave the best performance in this film? Whatever you guys have to say, let your voice be heard in that comment section down below. If you enjoyed the vid, help me out by a little thumbs up button for me. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars-related content, don't forget to click that subscribe button. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Hearfield, and I'll see you next time.